So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the band then, for those who don't know?
Well, Fratellis are a three-piece rock and roll band from Glasgow. We released the first record in 2006, and sort of another one after that, and then promptly split up, and then decided it'd be a good idea to get back together and play some shows, and that's where we are now.
Obviously, talking about your 3-year break, do you feel that you've come back best than ever?
Well, if we hadn't improved a little bit, it would be something to worry about, you know. And you know, like I said, that the first record was 2006. It's 6 years, right? You know, it's 7 years now. Things have to have sort of changed in that time, but I think there's still a sort of ethos, I guess, that we still have, an ethos about a certain way to play rock and roll, you know, which is really what we are.
You're on your own UK headline tour now. What dates are you most looking forward to with the ones that are left?
Well, you know, they always surprise you, because a lot of the time, the further north you go, things start to get louder, you know. But we started last night in London, and you know, London can sometimes be a bit up and down. You know, you're never sure quite what you're going to get there. But it was as loud as I can remember any gig being. But like I said, you definitely get the gigs definitely increase in volume the further north you go. So you know.
What's it like
Liverpool was the last gig we had before Glasgow, so you know, you can imagine. I would imagine Liverpool would be loud, you know.
Do you always enjoy gigging in Liverpool with the musical knowledge that you have?
I do, yeah, I do. That venue, the academy there, is one of the good ones. You know, it reminds me a little bit of the Barrowlands in Glasgow, with the low ceiling, and it's always warm. You know, but there's something about that I like. There's something about coming off having drenched in sweat. You know, you know that you've had to put in an effort. You know, when it's that hot, and usually a crowd appreciates that.
What's it like to gig in your hometown of Scotland then?
No, if you don't have a good show in your home city, then there's something wrong with you. You know, you can't. We've never had a bad show in Glasgow. You know, some better than others, but never anything other than, you know, great. And like I said, if you're not having fun playing your hometown, then you would have no fun playing anywhere, I think.
What do you reckon the highlight of your band's career is so far?
Oh, I'm the last person to ask. I really can't think of anything that I would call a highlight. To be honest, do you know, just to be in the position where you can go to different towns and cities, put gigs on, and people come. Yeah, that's kind of enough for me. Like I don't anything you get other, you know, above that is a bonus. Just being able to pick up your guitar and play music and people show up to hear you is kind of, that's plenty. You know, that's plenty for me.
Do you prefer writing writing and recording, or actually playing live music?
Do you know, they are completely different, to the point where you couldn't, if you had to choose one or the other, you'd be stuck. I guess I would pick live, because at least then you can still write songs, and just you would only, you know, you'd be playing them live rather than recording them first and then playing them live. But you get that instant reaction from a crowd. It's, you know, you get instant gratification, and it becomes it just becomes a habit, and it's hard to break, you know, because who doesn't want that sort of instant reaction from fans to songs? But recording also is where you get to experiment, I guess.
Talking about recording, you've got a new album out this year. What can we expect from it?
Well, I mean, if I said it was radically different from the Fratellis, then it would be I would be telling a lie, because it has to be similar just because it's the same three guys and the same writer. It's hard for it not to have the same thread running through it. But like I said, it's 7 years on, so it just by the sort of laws of nature, it has to be different, and I get it is different enough to have to be moving forwards, But I think there's still a lot in there that if people that liked us previously would recognise. I think.
Do you have a favourite song which you enjoy to play live? Because obviously Chelsea Dag is a huge hit. Is there anything other that you love the crowd reacting to?
That just changes night from night. And the other thing is, I never remember a song, even after every gig. When you're back in the dressing room, there's never a song that you remember having been good that night. You just remember. You're just sort of interested in whether the whole thing worked or not. And sometimes when it really works, you're the happiest person in the world, and to sort of think of a song, it would just be impossible. It's all about whether the gig itself works. And the other side of that is, if you have one that you think was a disaster, then you're the sort of loneliest person in the world at that point. But I just look forward to sort of good crowds. They can make it. You can be having a bad night, and a good crowd can lift you.
What can we expect? Is there any dates the Fratellis are going to be doing after this tour? Is there anything else in the pipeline?
Well, we do a bunch of festivals in the summer. Don't ask me to name them because I can't remember. But we're just sort of open for business, I guess. Once we bring the record out in September, we'll be back. Not too long after that with another UK tour. Because then you want to go out and play. It's nice to leave a few months from a new record having come out, so that when you play those new songs, people at least have a chance of knowing them. So I guess we'll be back out again by the end of the year.
Where does the name the Fratellis come from?
I can't remember. Barry picked that, and we picked it very quickly. I think we all met, having never met before, decided we liked each other, and hey, let's just start a band. And that was his suggestion on that first day, and we stuck to it. And we got our first album name on the first day as well, and we stuck to that as well. We weren't even sure if we would ever have a record. It's good with these things to just grab something and stick to it, But you'd have to ask him where it came from, because I have never asked him. I just like the sound of it.
From the band starting in 2006, do you feel that you should be as big as you actually are when you started out?
No, not really. You sort of anybody who's got any sort of sense of self-esteem thinks that they're okay. You're quite confident that you're pretty good at what you do, but that doesn't translate into having any success with it. Because you've no experience of that ever. You're just still a band in a rehearsal in your hometown, making music. So you really can't ever have any reference for anything other than that. So we just did that just like any other band does. And when you get those things, if you're lucky enough to get some success and you get those things, that they're just the bonus, really, because how could you have ever imagined that? But that doesn't mean you didn't think you were good enough. I don't think we ever had a problem with feeling confident enough. We always thought we were good enough to get those things, I guess. But so are lots of people, and they never get them.
Where do you actually see your band in another 8 years' time?
In another 8 years, if you'd have asked me 8 minutes, then I might be able to answer that. But 8 years, I really, if you ask my bandmates, they'll tell you that I'm not the kind of person that you should ask to think too far in the future of. I change my mind on a daily basis. But like I said, that sort of that privileged position of being able to make music and to then take it out and play it, and people turn up to see it is really privileged. And if you're still able to do that, 8 years would be sort of 16 years for this band. If after 16 years you're able to go and do that and play your guitar for a living with your friends, that would be enough for me, I think.
Obviously, you've just said your friends. Is the band more than just bandmates? Are you really close friends too?
I think I'd say we were. Every band has their problems. It's impossible to spend all that time with each other and not have your problems. I think maybe now we're probably better friends than we maybe would have been at one point. And it makes life easier. It definitely makes life easier. And if we went in a band together, we probably would be friends. Out with that. So that's kind of a good sign, I guess.
If you could collaborate with anyone in the world, who would it be?
Me. I don't know, because any of the people who I would call heroes, I guess, I really wouldn't want to collaborate with. I just wouldn't want to ruin what it is that they are to me. I found myself in the position where I could have gone and said hello to certain people that I've been in the same room with, who really meant a lot to me taking up music, and I've always resisted doing that because I'm not sure what I would expect to get out of it. So working with anybody, I'd rather not, just in case it ruins my idea of what they are.
If you could sum the band up in one word and the gigs, what would it be?
Committed.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Cool, alright, thanks very much.
That was John from the Fratellis, everyone. Thank you.
Cool, cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.